Hello, I'm Peter Vaughan and welcome to the very first ever UK road test of a Mega Mobil campervan. Let's tell you about this exciting new campervan from Slovenia. So, Mega Mobil, well, the UK is just the latest country to see these vans, which are well established on the continent with about 40 dealers in 14 different countries. They have a range of campervans on Peugeot Boxer and MAN that will be coming here. And, well, their parent company, Mega Textile, is an upholstery business that's been established since 1967. On the campervan side, they have 80 employees and a wide range of vehicles from the 5.4 metre Peugeot Boxer up to the near 7 metre MAN. This is the longest Stellantis vehicle, Peugeot Boxer, at 6.36 metres long. It's also the extra high, 2.90 metres high. So an L4H3 in Stellantis terminology. But you may have noticed that this one isn't actually a Peugeot Boxer. No, this one is an Opel Movano. Well, do you remember the Opel name? Maybe you had a Manta Coupe at one time. Opel no longer sells in the UK. Its sister brand is Vauxhall. Of course, both are part of Stellantis, so this effectively is the same vehicle as the Peugeot Boxer that will be the basis for UK spec vehicles. This one is left-hand drive. We don't see the Opels here. But Mega Mobil were keen to launch at last October's NEC show. This Lounge 640 is without a doubt the most exciting model in the range. Now, the name hints at it, but it has that UK-friendly rear lounge in a U-shape, but not like you'll ever have seen it before, because the seats don't make into a bed. The bed comes down electrically from above. Price of this particular vehicle, this left-hand drive, slightly continental spec van, is $84,995. That's on a 140 horsepower van with the 6-speed manual gearbox. So the price of the right-hand drive ones will be higher, but let's not dwell too much on that, and I'll tell you a little bit about where I'm staying. This rather charming little campsite with hookups, hard standings and even some service pitches is on Dartmoor. It's called the Dartmoor Halfway Inn because just up there is the pub that it takes its name from. Had dinner there last night because I arrived late and tired, and I have to say their venison stew was excellent. Now, I'm not going to get too hung up on the spec on this particular review because, as I say, the vans coming to the UK will generally be equipped to a higher standard. However, one thing they will have, as on here, is the Escape Pack priced at £2,495. That gives you the 2-lay awning, the rain gutter with LED light over the door, a second 80 amp hour AGM leisure battery, and a 180 watt solar panel on the roof. You've also got the £599 connection pack, which gives you your TV point outside with mains socket in there, your external gas barbecue point, and round on the other side, on the near side for the UK, the external shower. Here you've also got your fresh water filler. Now, fresh water is inboard, that's 80 litres, so properly winterised. The waste tank is also 80 litres, that's underslung but insulated as standard and heated as an option. You've also got additional graphics on this vehicle, but the framed habitation windows are a standard feature. The front fog lights are standard. These rather fancy alloy wheels are a £986 option, but we will be getting those on the UK vehicles. The standard colour is white, but there are alternatives to choose from. Quite a selection of colours, including a bright red, and the waste tank underslung, as I said, but with an electric opening valve. I actually got a little stream running behind my pitch, but what you want to see is inside these back doors. Very extensively trimmed, and there's certainly no room for any drafts between the doors. But the key thing is this boot area. Good storage under there. Is 1.27 metres wide, 82 centimetres deep and 40 centimetres high. Above that you've got a cupboard, plenty more storage in there. And I did wonder if perhaps it'd be better not to have that cupboard and have the full height storage. Maybe that's something that Mega Mobil will be able to offer, I don't know. In the corner you've got your gas locker. That here has one 13 kilo cylinder, but you could put two 6s in there. You've got power points, 12 volt and 230 volt at the side. Your awning winding handle is neatly stored at the top, and if you stand on the back bumper you can also reach into this high level cupboard. Now that cupboard is also accessible from inside the van, but only when the bed is down. When the bed's in its stowed position up in the roof, it's blocking the door on the other side. And then before we go inside, just to mention the auto retracting step. Oh, and there's a fly screen on the sliding door as standard. And this is a neat little touch. One of your kitchen cupboards is accessible from outside. Maybe keep your plates in there for when you're eating al fresco. And the fact that the sliding door will stay on the continental side with right-hand drive vehicles. So now we get to the important bit, the lounge of the Lounge 640. And as you can see, it's a U-shape, but not quite in your traditional style. For a start, you've got this big cushion over the top of the garage area. Now you could actually use that as a day bed. It's wide enough and long enough, it's pretty much 6 foot across the vehicle. If you're wondering about the lack of a window this side, well, it's a Mega Mobil option, and I'm sure that all the UK spec vehicles will have a window on this side too. You've got opening windows in the back doors and of course on the other side. You've got lots of lighting too, strip lights, down lights, another one there. You've got loads of sockets everywhere in this vehicle. Everywhere there's main sockets, USBs. You're not going to be short of places to plug things in. Now, as I say, the rear lounge is a bit different. You've got these cushions, these flat sections behind the backrest, and that of course is because when the bed comes down it fills between those. It can't be as wide down here because obviously as the van goes up it gets narrower towards the roof. They're quite a nice area to just put your arms on and sort of relax back into the corner with these scatter cushions. And incidentally, if you don't like the colour scheme in this particular van, don't worry, because there are different woods, different floors, different ceilings, different upholsteries. Yeah, there's a lot of choice. The squab sections are a little short compared with a normal rear lounge because of this section behind, but comfortable enough for sitting, for dining. And then when you want to relax, this is how the lounge works best, with your feet up. Now that said, the one issue I do have, apart from the missing window, is this table. It's just too big. Now, if it folded in half, it would be better, but for the UK market, I think this needs to go and be replaced with a freestanding table. That would open up this lounge area and make it feel a lot more spacious, because it is a big lounge and a lot more comfortable than I first thought. Now, if you're wondering about storage in the rear lounge, well, of course, you've got these little top lockers. They're quite limited because of the nature of the bed above. You've got your garage area that we saw under the back. Then under these side cushions, you've got quite deep cubby holes down either side of the van, and I've got 2 pillows in this one. That's quite useful storage. The duvet I've actually left on the bed, so that can go up with the bed. That doesn't need to be stored anywhere. Under where I'm sitting, you've got all the Victron electrics for the vehicle, for the habitation area, and down this end, at the forward end, you've got the diesel combi boiler. It's a 6 kilowatt diesel and electric boiler in this van. Over on the other side, that's where your fresh water tank lives, under that bench seat. One final thing on the lounge, I should mention the TV, which is, well, it's very high up. It slides out for viewing, but you will need to be lying back to watch it. The other thing on the bed, before I show you, this box here, that's if the electrics should fail and you have to manually wind it down. So the bit you really want to see, bed making, and the first thing you have to do is lower the table so that it's out of the way. Then just get the scatter cushions out of the way, and these side benches, just the base cushion needs to move into the centre or onto the floor. And then you just need the key and press a button. And then finally, the seatbelt straps tuck away behind these cushions, and these little handles on either side. Those are designed so if you forget to release them when you wind the bed back up, they twist round and don't damage anything. Then there's a neat little pull-out step to aid access. And now, what a bed. You have a completely flat double bed, well, more like super king size, completely flat. Yes, there are a couple of joins, but you really don't notice those in the night. And 2.01 metres long, 6'7", by 1.84 metres wide, 6 foot. And there's even room to sit up in bed. And if you want to, you can sleep like a starfish. And should your partner be doing those starfish impressions in the bed, well, you can always have your breakfast up front. Both front seats swivel, and there is this super neat slide out and swing over table. Perfect for your cuppa in the morning. Before we move on to the kitchen, couple of details to show you. Well, there's a huge overcab locker. No wardrobe as such in this vehicle, and I would like some coat hooks on the washroom wall here, somewhere to hang my barber when I come in from the cold. But although there's no wardrobe, there is a tiny hanging rail just behind the cab here, and of course you could hang really long items, not just shirts, in there. Drop down behind the driver's seat. Over the door you've got this cupboard for your glasses, illuminated, looks very nice. No, not these glasses, drinking glasses. Right, onto the kitchen. So the kitchen, well, it looks fairly standard, doesn't it? 2-burner hob, sink. But look at all the storage. All drawer based too. Lots and lots and lots and lots of lovely soft closed drawers. An even bigger slide out unit at the end. And then, well, you've got more storage here, here, here. Yeah, plenty of storage. Worktop, well, yes, there's a bit more worktop too, with this slide out panel, and that is fairly sturdy as well. In fact, everything about this van feels built to last. It is very substantial furniture. But unlike a lot of layouts of this ilk, the kitchen isn't just on the off side. You've got more kitchen on the near side. This tambour door locker, that's quite tall, so you get cereal packets in there. You've got a Thetford oven. It's not a grill, just an oven, but there you go, illuminated oven, side hinge door, and for once it's not up here. Decent height. Good size cupboard there. 84 litre compressor fridge. That's big enough for 2 people, surely. And being a compressor fridge, it's very convenient. Just switch on and forget, and it won't worry about tilt and so on. Top locker as well. More sockets. Yeah, it's pretty impressive in terms of storage. And now, let's just have a look at the control panel. So the controls, well, you've got your Truma controls on this side there. Easy enough to use, latest Truma control panel on, and then on this side you've got a marine industry sea marine control panel for the lights and so on. But interestingly, it tells you your battery conditions, your internal temperature, battery levels, what you're using, input from the solar, surprisingly as it's getting dark, and January nothing. Your charger, starter battery condition, fresh water and wastewater levels, inside outside temperatures, pitch and roll. I think, well, that's more about a boat, but it does actually tell you if you're level, which is quite useful. Yeah, it's a very comprehensive control panel. So the final aspect of the living area, of course, is the washroom behind this tambour door. Step inside and it's a decent sized space. Swivel cassette toilet, but it is on a plinth seat. It's a bit high unless you've got very, very long legs. Next to that, good sized corner basin and a mirror above. Storage both down below underneath the basin and a top locker above. But the clever bit is this. Just a perspex screen that swings round and turns your toilet area into a shower. A decent sized shower, not huge, but plenty big enough for me. And you've now got separate shower hose rather than using a pull-out tap. Got decent water pressure. Only one outlet in the tray, but can probably live with that. And of course you do have to mop out this area afterwards, but this is good size, practical space with huge headroom and a roof vent above. Now, just before we talk about driving this Mega Mobil, I just want to pick up on the winterization aspect, because as well as the inboard freshwater tank and the insulated underslung tank, you have 25mm of Armorflex closed cell insulation in the walls, 19mm in the ceiling, 25mm again in the rear doors and the sliding door, and a 35mm XPS insulation floor. Now, let's talk about the base vehicle. Oh, but before we do that, please don't forget to like this video and to subscribe to the channel. It really does help us to continue to bring you these reviews. So a couple of the packs that we'll be getting on stock vehicles here are the autonomous driving package, and that gives you things like adaptive cruise control, start stop, traffic jam assist, emergency brake assist, lane departure warning, traffic sign recognition, driver attention monitoring, automatic lights and automatic main beam dipping. It gives you the electric parking brake as well and the nice leather steering wheel, and that is worth £2,295. And then there's the city package, which is £4,999, and that gives you blind spot monitoring and rear cross traffic alert, electrically folding mirrors, a digital interior rear view mirror with 8.9-inch display and rear view camera and auto dimming, wireless induction phone charging, 360-degree parking system, digital instrument cluster rather than the classic dials, automatic climate control, the techno trim, little bits of silver on the dashboard, and a 10-inch display here for the DAB radio and sat nav. On top of that, you've got cornering lights, so plenty of spec to go with your UK Mega Mobil, which of course will have the steering wheel over there. So we're really out in the wilds of Dartmoor now. Standard spec on this vehicle, irrespective of the badge, you get ESP, hill descent control. You get the larger 90-litre diesel tank, which could be useful on a long run down to the south of France, and all the usual, you know, cruise control, cab air conditioning, that sort of thing. Cab seats are nicely retrimmed. They don't retrim the armrests, but you've got height adjustment, and they're comfortable enough. But it is the usual Fiat, Peugeot, or indeed Opel driving position, and the usual firm ride with these Stellantis vans. But the really impressive thing with this Mega Mobil is that, unlike nearly all its rivals, it doesn't rattle. Now, I'm taking it gently because there's sheep on the road and it's a bit misty, but the 140 horsepower engine is adequate, but the 180 with the automatic gearbox is going to be a dream in comparison. And that's what you're going to get in the UK. You'll also get, of course, your steering wheel on the proper side, but that will have a slight disadvantage because with all this furniture here, when you come to an acute angle junction, you will have to straighten up so that washroom isn't causing a big blind spot. But that aside, this is a pleasant vehicle to drive. It's a nice size, not too big, easy enough to manoeuvre, or it will be once you've got the reversing camera and the 360-degree parking system. But the beauty of it is it's so quiet. Listen, no rattles. Lovely. So, final verdict time on the Mega Mobil Lounge 640. Is it indeed mega? Well, yeah, I think it is. I love this rear lounge, but more than that, I love the drop-down bed. That is a huge, comfy, flat bed. Great storage in this van, good winterisation. Some of that's optional, but I'm sure the UK vehicles will get all the spec. Kitchen, well, you've got an oven, decent fridge, so that's good. And that clever just folding screen in the toilet shower area, well, turns the toilet into a shower area. That's very, very neat and simple. And the build quality is really, really good. So what don't I like? Not much. The TV doesn't worry me because I probably wouldn't watch it, but, well, it's a bit of a silly place for a telly. I'd quite like a second drain hole diagonally opposite in the shower tray. I'd like a grill in the oven. Probably about it. Oh, and this garage area underneath, I'd do away with that top cupboard and just make it one big space. So if you've got anything bulky you want to get in there, then you could. But what a great introduction to Mega Mobil for the UK.